questions. We'll hold it till the end, and then I will do my best to answer all of them. So the first thing we're going to go over are going to be these buttons here.
Okay.
Let me turn this, make sure it's straight. Is it better, yeah, if you do it like that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Good. Perfect. So on top we have the crown.
Right.
And we have below it, it's going to be your side button. They both have 3 functions: a 1-click, a double-click, and a long press. All right? So a 1-click is going to be something like that,
right,
where you're going to go tap. A double-click is tap, tap, and a long press is a hold and release. When you turn on your screen, so there's 2 ways to turn on your screen. You can either tap your screen.
Okay.
You can either tap it, and like if it's off like that, I can tap it to wake it up, or I can flip my wrist and it'll turn on, or just go ahead and press any of the buttons. All right?
Clever.
So when I turn my screen on and I press the first button, which is going to be the first function of a click,
Right.
that's going to open up my apps. Now your apps may look 2 ways. You may have it in list view like this, or if I was to hold this down, your apps may look like this. I find this really frustrating to look at because it's hard to kind of see what all of this is. So if you want, you can look at your wrist and you can hold the screen down and you're going to press list view. All right? That's going to alphabetize all of your apps for you. So it's easier to find, and you can use your finger to kind of scroll through it, or you can use this crown on the side and kind of swivel through it like that. Your 1-click will always get you out of an app. So if I was to go into reminders here,
Right.
to get out of it, I would click, and then to get out of the apps, I would click again. So your crown button is pretty much called like your home button. All right? And it'll get you in and out of your apps. A double click is going to open up your last opened app. So whatever app I was just in, if I double click that crown button, it will open up the last app I was in. The last function of the crown is going to be your long press. Kind of like holding an elevator door. You hold it, and then Siri will pop up. You can ask Siri to pretty much do anything you need, whether it be make a phone call, text somebody, tell you the weather. She's there to kind of guide you and help you.
Yeah, I've never used her on my phone.
Really? I use her while I'm driving. I'll be like, hey, call mom, or send a text message to this person, or get me directions to that.
Yeah, I've never used it. I use Alexa for music.
Ah, okay, gotcha. So just to go over quickly, the functions are going to be a 1-click, which is going to get you in and out of your app library, a double click, which is going to open up your last used app, and a long press, which is going to activate Siri. Okay? Now we're going to migrate to the side button. The difference between the crown and the side is the crown is going to protrude out. The side button is you have to press in. So if I press that side button once, it's going to open up all the apps that I currently have opened. Now this is very important because your battery is very small, because your watch is very small. So the smaller the device, the smaller the battery will be. When you have all of these apps open and running, that kills your battery life. So what you want to do is you want to swipe your finger from right to left, and you want to close out those apps like that. And then tap that big red X. So again, from right to left, and then close out the X. And then continuously keep closing out all of your apps until you enter into this screen that says recently used apps will appear here. Okay? That's letting you know that all of your apps are now closed. So that's the one press button on the side.
Right.
If I double click the button, that will open up my wallet. This is a demo, so I don't have cards here, but if I show you on my personal watch, this is my wallet. And I have my credit cards, I have some concert tickets. It's a great place to house if you're getting on a flight and you need your boarding pass. Your wallet is great because it holds all of your ticketed information.
I use that on my phone.
Perfect. So whatever's on your phone will appear on your watch.
Now, let's say I'm in Publix and I use my
Watch to pay?
got it.
Yes, so what you're going to do is you're going to double click. So click, click, and then boom.
Oh, I said like that.
Yes, like that. So you pay with the top. It's going to ask you to either put in a code, and then you're going to just click like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great. Like again, if you're getting on a flight and you're like, "Where's
Yeah.
my phone? Where's my phone?"
It's funny. I use that, and I use the paper ticket. Plus
Yeah, the place,
just in
everything,
case
just
my-
in case. Yeah, but I'm always late, so I'm always. You see, I'm that person that's running through the airline, so I never know if my phone is or anything. So I'm like, boop. Okay, I'm okay. Okay, and your last function is going to be a long press. Now, when you long press, that's going to activate your SOS mode.
Right.
SOS mode is imperative because if you get into any kind of trouble, you want to be able to activate. Your medical ID is going to be inserted by your health app. So you plug in all your information. That's very important because if you have any illnesses or if you have any allergies or anything, this is how they'll pull up your information. This is for if you're hiking in the woods and you get lost and you need to retrace your steps. So this one's not that important. This one here is your emergency call. So if you're walking around at night or if you're in some kind of danger, what you're going to do is you're going to slide your finger over and release, and that will dial 911. All of these buttons have the ability to slide over to open and activate them. So if I was to slide this over, this would open up my medical information.
Do I have to fill out my medical somewhere?
In your health app, yes. It's a white app with a red heart or a pink heart in it.
You're right, I got it.
Okay? So this is SOS mode, and lastly on the SOS screen is going to be your power button. So if you ever need to turn your watch off, that's how you would get to it.
Right.
And again, to get to that screen, you're going to hold down your side button. Okay?
Got it.
Now the next feature we're going to go to are your notifications. Your notification center is located at the top of your screen when you scroll down. So if I scroll my finger from top to bottom on the watch, that will open up my notification center. Your notification center is the home where all of your notifications sit. What are notifications? Notifications are when you get a message like a text or you get a voicemail or you have any app that's trying to notify you that something's going on in there. They'll give you a little preview and then it'll tell you what the notification is. Sometimes you may have one of your devices on silence, so your phone may not ring or your phone may not vibrate. So it automatically gets put into your notification center where the message will appear or whatever it's trying to tell you will appear. Again, you get that by swiping your finger from top to bottom, and that will give you your notification center. The next function is going to be from the opposite end, from bottom up. So if I swipe my finger upward, that's going to bring me to my control center. So your notification center is where your notifications sit. Your control center is pretty much how you control your watch through settings. Now, you may or may not have a cellular watch. I don't know if you have cell service on your watch.
No.
Did you activate that? Okay, so then yours will look like this. This is the Wi-Fi symbol. That's letting you know that your watch is connected to your phone and that the phone has service. That way, you are able to use your watch as a phone. If this is ever not highlighted and it looks like this, that means you have no connectivity, meaning your watch will not function. Next to that is going to be the phone with the 2 vibration marks. That's pretty much a finder. So if I was to press that on my watch right now, so if you're in the house and you're like, I know my phone is somewhere near me, you press that button and it will kind of locate your phone for you through sound. Underneath that, this numerical percentage here is your battery life. That function also, if I was to click it, that's how I can put my phone into low power mode. I mean my watch into low power mode. So if, the batteries again don't last that long. If I'm somewhere and I know I'm gonna be outside all day and I'm not gonna have the ability to charge my watch, what I wanna do is I wanna put my watch on low power mode. That will put my watch on a setting where it'll drain battery very slowly.
Okay.
So I would do that and I would turn this on and this yellow ring would appear, and that's how I would know it's on low power mode. I would press turn on and it would turn it on for me. So if I press turn on here, you'll see this little yellow ring that's letting me know that my watch is on low power mode.
Okay.
And then to turn it off, I'll just go ahead and press that. and then I'll shut it off like that and press done, and it's off. Next to that, this little thingy right here is going to be your silence button. So silence is if you have it off like I currently do, my watch, if it was to get a notification, is gonna ring. I'm gonna hear it. If I'm sleeping, if I'm outside, if I'm at work, I don't wanna hear my watch going off constantly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn that on, and it's gonna silence the watch, but I'll still feel the vibrations. So every time I get a notification, it will still vibrate for me. These three functions here are similar to that one here, but they have different functions. So if I'm in theater mode, it'll turn off the notifications. It will also dim the brightness of my watch. So if I'm in a dark theater, when I go to look at my watch, it's not a bright light that appears. It kind of disturbs everybody. It'll be just kind of like a little bit dim just for me to see it, and it also will turn off the sound. When I get out of the theater, I would just go ahead and turn it off, and I'd be okay. This one here, the airplane, is airplane mode. Why that's important is because when you're on a flight and the pilot tells you to put your phone or put your devices on airplane mode, that doesn't necessarily turn off your phone, it turns off the service. So if you're listening to music or if you're watching a movie, you're able to still have those features, because if you were to turn your phone off, you can't do anything. So putting your phone or your devices on airplane mode allows the connectivity to be cut. That way you can still use your phone and it doesn't interfere with the pilot's connection. Above that is this crescent moon. That is do not disturb. That's good for if you're in a meeting or if you're going to bed and you don't want to be bothered. That's going to turn off all notifications in your phone. So it's going to turn off the vibration, and it's also going to turn off the sound. Why that's important is because if you accidentally press that button, if someone calls you, it's going straight to voicemail. So this is good for if you do not want to be bothered. If you don't want to hear a notification, then you turn on the little bell. But if you're like, I'm trying to focus and I don't want to know that I have a message because I have ADHD, then you want to turn on your little crescent moon there. And that will silence everything. Next is going to be your flashlight. This is very important because at night is when most falls happen. Most falls happen in the shower and most falls happen at night. A lot of people say they don't wear their watches to sleep. If you are elderly or if you're prone to falling easily and hurting yourself, I believe it is important to wear your watch to bed because, again, if you were to get up in the middle of the night and hurt yourself, the whole point of having the watch is to make sure that you're safe and sound. This flashlight here, if I go ahead and turn it on, it becomes a little flashlight for me. So if I'm walking around at night and I need to see where I'm walking, this will turn on and illuminate everything that I need to see in front of me. It's also really good for if you're trying to get into the house or open up your car door and you're trying to see where the keyhole is, you'll be able to see when you have your watch on. Also, if you have a bag or you're looking through your trunk or you're looking through the car and you need to be able to see, it's a good way to kind of just see. If you're walking around at night and you drop something, it's very good for that. If I were to swipe the screen over, there's going to be this blinking. So if I'm riding a bike at night or if I'm walking the street at night, this is very good because it'll let people know that there's somebody walking. If I slide that one over, I don't know what that screen's for. Probably not going to use it, but it's there. And to get out of this screen, you're going to click your crown. It'll completely take you out. Below that is going to be your little water droplet. That is lock screen lock mode. That's good for if you're going swimming, if you're going to the beach, or if you're in a sport and you don't want your watch to be moving around, you go ahead and put that on. So when I click that, I am no longer able to use my screen. So if I swipe over it, nothing's happening. What it does is it locks it. So if there were water droplets on the watch, it would pretty much protect it. Okay? It also puts up a barrier on the speaker and the microphone. So if I get a phone call, water doesn't get into the speaker and the microphone. To get out of it, I would have to hold down this crown and it would eject the water out for me. And then I'd be able to use my screen again. Okay? Again, that's important because if you do get in the shower, again, most falls happen in the shower, you would want to be safe and sound. A lot of people take their watches off when they get in the shower, but it's slippery in there, and you never know what's going to happen. So a lot of people ask, so when do I charge my phone? If I'm wearing it in the shower, and if I'm wearing it to sleep, when do I charge my watch? I always say charge your watch during the daytime, or if you drive around a lot, I would get a car charger and charge your watch in your car.
It doesn't take long to charge, does it?
At all. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to charge your watch.
You can't overcharge.
Nope, it'll shut off. So you'll be okay. All right? And those are the functions of the watch. So now I'm going to take us over. We got about 10 minutes left. I'm going to take us to our watch app. So the watch app is the most important part of this because your watch app is your main brain for the watch. So your watch is the vessel and the watch app is the brain. That's where all of your settings and all of your features are. It looks like this right here. All right? So if I go ahead and click that, at the bottom of my screen are going to be three things: My Watch, Face Gallery, and Discovery. Discovery is all of the information that I'm going through with you today. This is where you'll find it. So welcome to the Apple Watch. Apple Watch User Guide. What's new with the iOS? If I scroll down, customize your watch, health and fitness, explore apps. So this is going to give you all the information plus more because this class is so short. It'll give you more information than what I'm teaching you. The next important thing, we're going to go to My Watch. If I scroll, this is what it normally looks like. It's going to say My Faces. And down here, if I scroll, these are going to be all the settings for my watch. So when I say it's the main brain, this is where you're going to set everything you want your watch to do. So emergency SOS, your password, Siri, sound. I have display and brightness, general settings, notifications. So that's going to allow me to do everything. I even have app view. So if you don't like the way that your app looks, you can choose which one that you want to choose in order to appear on your watch face. The next line is going to be Face Gallery. Your Face Gallery is how you personalize your watch face. So when you click your screen, that's your watch face. And I have the ability to scroll and choose different ones. Why I can do that is because I have them set up here. So if I go to My Face, My Watch, these are all my watch faces that I can choose from, that I've already made. If I want to make a new one, I go to Face Gallery, and then I can scroll and choose any of these watch faces. And once I choose one, so let's say I want to choose that red one right there. I'm like, okay, I like this. Maybe let's see what this pink one's looking like. I like that better. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press Add.
That goes to your watch.
Yep, it's going to go to My Watch. It's going to appear there. I can press Edit. And if I want, I can either bring it all the way to the top by moving this up, or I can click it and I can press Set as Current Watch Face. And if I set that as my current watch face, let's see. Oh, it might be a different watch. Oh, it's a demo, so it won't work. But that would set it as my current watch face. And I believe that's pretty much it.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because I was on the grid view the other day, and then I went to that other view.
The list view, yeah.
The list view, and it wasn't coming up. It wasn't changing.
Okay.
So Nadine came over and he says, Mark, you got to reset. Hold both buttons.
Yep.
And that reset.
It resets the
For some
entire
reason
watch.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Sometimes they glitch. I mean, they're not perfect. They're man-made items, so they're not always perfect. But
So in other words, the phone is very important to.
it's the brain of all of this.
Yes.
Also, your watch and your phone will not work more than 30 feet away from each other if you do not have cellular service on the watch. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So that phone is like everything to the watch. Okay?
Well, we'll see. I mean, this is the first watch I've had, and that was the reason I never got it was because I always have my phone. But,
Exactly.
So we'll see how I like it, and then maybe go to the next level.
All right. Did you have any other questions?
I think that's about it.
I love that.
Get an A for effort.
Thank you. Well, thank you for coming to today at Apple. I'm glad that we can go through the whole class, and we went through it pretty fast. I'm glad it was just you and I. So
Well, that's
normally I go over time, but
That's good because I got